What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live, listening through the power of the internet. And this is not a happy video. I don't want to be making this video, but it looks like the folks over at Lootcrate, one of the best sponsors this channel has ever had, has filed for bankruptcy. It looks like they are done and over with. And if you guys have noticed over the last 6 months, there have not been Lootcrate advertisements on this channel. It's because I had heard through the grapevine that this might be a possibility. So I wanted to make sure that if I was advertising a product, that product was actually going to ship. I didn't want to sell a 1-year subscription to somebody out of fear that they would not get their final boxes. Now, Lootcrate is promising that even though they're laying off workers and even though they have filed for bankruptcy, they will ship remaining crates, but that remains to be seen. But here, according to Gizmodo, Lootcrate was once the go-to company for monthly shipments of geek and gamer gear, but now its stock has run dry. The company is filing for bankruptcy and has laid off dozens of employees on top of the 150 warehouse workers who were let go last month. Lootcrate plans to ship all remaining boxes to customers, but given how behind it already is, it seems like a tough promise to keep. So when I made the decision earlier this year to stop promoting Lootcrate, it's because some of the crates that I had were coming in behind, and that included my paid subscription to Lootcrate, even though I got some of the crates for free, but I did have a paid subscription as well, so I knew what kind of service you guys were getting. But I was also seeing in the comment section of those uploads, advertising Lootcrate saying that they were OG boxes, that they just never showed up, the customer service wasn't doing what they're supposed to do. That's why I chose to drop them. In a press release released overnight, Lootcrate announced plans to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Reports that financial troubles have been circulating for a while, including defaulting on a $21 million loan in 2017. Even though Lootcrate has about 250,000 subscribers, the plan is to try and sell the company with one of its investors, Money Chest, funneling a $10 million bankruptcy loan to keep operations afloat in the interim. So it looks like if you are owed a crate, you will probably still get that crate. I hope that is the case. Hopefully that's what that $10 million is going to be for. But here's the thing. Over the last 6 months, the crates have just not been very good. One of the crates that I got didn't even have a t-shirt. Instead, it had 2 books. One of the crates I got had all repeat items. I think it only had like 1 new item in it. And I've seen a ton of repeat items as well. Now, again, if you're new to Lootcrate, that stuff will be new to you, but it's not particularly relevant. It's not particularly new stuff. It's not particularly interesting stuff. Even the Marvel crate, which was all like Captain Marvel stuff, I wasn't really interested in it. The Loot Gaming stuff was almost all recycled stuff. So if you do get a remaining crate, chances are it's just going to be stuff that's left in the warehouse. I can't imagine they're going to use that $10 million to buy new items. The bankruptcy filing and overall financial woes have devastated the company's workforce. Last month, Lootcrate closed its warehouse and laid off 150 workers, announcing plans to outsource to a third-party logistics company. An additional 50 employees were laid off last week, leaving the company with just 60 full-time workers. Reports have since surfaced on Twitter that employees were let go without any severance or benefits. This is one of the reasons I hadn't talked about this previously. And if you're upset about that, I understand why. If you signed up using my code in the last 6 months, I will understand why you would be upset. But that's why I haven't promoted them, but it's also why I haven't talked about it. I didn't want to see anybody get fired. I didn't want to see anybody let go. I know plenty of people who work at the warehouse level, who work at management level at that company. I didn't want to see anybody else get fired. My contact there, my rep, Doc, got let go. And when Doc got let go to be replaced by somebody else who would work the same job but only cheaper, I ended up just kind of deciding I wasn't going to promote the company anymore, but I wasn't ready to be in a position where I would bad talk them either. So again, I apologize if anybody feels misled, but I just didn't want to see anybody get fired, especially because I didn't know if there's going to be any severance pay or anything like that. So I think I made the right decision there personally. Now, co-founder Christopher Davis promised in the press release that Lootcrate subscribers should expect no changes. Daily operations will continue as usual. Unique and exciting fan items will be purchased, crates will be shipped, and all aspects of the business will go on as before the Chapter 11 filing. The problem is, for the last 6 months, business as usual has not been very good. The crates have been underwhelming. They've been short items. Items have not shipped with the crates. Sometimes it didn't have the expected t-shirts. Sometimes it was reused items. Sometimes the crates were late. For some people, the crates didn't show up at all. So again, I don't want to diss this company or anything like this, but I would be very, very wary. I would consider canceling an upcoming subscription or renewal if you have one. If you're owed crates, hopefully we will all get those crates. I'm owed almost 6 more months worth of crates. Hopefully I will get them with my paid subscription. But besides that, just be aware they may not be the best crates, and they may not show up on time, and they may not show up at all. Now, according to the bankruptcy filing, the company has been withholding customer billing and still owes at least $20 million worth of shipments to customers. Some subscribers report not having received subscription boxes in the past 3 months. Someone there says they received a courtesy subscription for the media, says the last shipment was arrived was the main Nemesis box. I'm not sure if that's the case for me, but I think that might be. I've opened all of my boxes and I don't know the last time I received one, but I think it's been since May for certain. But again, I do have a paid subscription, so that would make sense if they're not shipping out courtesy boxes, but they're still shipping out paid boxes. Hopefully that's the case. If people are paying, they're still getting them. Fallout 4 fans may end up feeling especially frustrated if Lootcrate fails to fulfill all of its missing shipments. Folks who subscribe to the 6-part Fallout Series 2 set, which costs about $228, in hopes of getting a complete Liberty Prime set, could end up never receiving the final item in that Fallout Series crates, which would mean the head that creates Liberty Prime. So I really hope that's the case. I hope they use that $10 million to at least finish off that franchise specialty series. But again, I hope they can use that $10 million to ship out every crate. Even if the crate isn't amazing, we should at least still get something if we paid for it. Now, I talked about this on Twitter last night, and it looks like several creators also are owed money. I think I'm owed like 1 month's sponsorship that I'm not sure that I get paid for. I would need to sit down and check my books to make 100% sure. But I do know that P. Diddy replied to me on Twitter saying that he is owed money. I have heard through the grapevine that several companies that have worked directly with Lootcrate are also owed money. If you're a creator at home and you're owed money, whether it's me or P. Diddy or anybody else, I wouldn't hold your breath. With Chapter 11 as an LLC, there's no incentive for them to pay you, so there's a real chance they're just not going to. At the end of the day, as a creator, I would rather they paid out by giving crates to people who paid for them than to give me money anyway. So Lootcrate, if you owe me for a month or something like that, do the books yourselves. I'm not going to worry about the money. Use that money to ship crates to people who subscribe to the service through my code, please. And you can wonder what happened internally to Lootcrate that would cause something like this, but I think it's something external. Because look at all these different loot crates you had. You had Lootcrate, Lootcrate DX, you had the Lootware, you had Remix, you got Gaming and Anime and Loot Fright, the Slam Crate, Kitty and Friends, the Fallout Crate, Deadpool Club. I mean, there's just so many options. And I understand the point of having so many options. The more options you have, the more subscribers you will get. The problem is it was difficult to maintain enough people to run all of these different boxes. Could you imagine the manpower behind running just another smaller box that doesn't get a fraction of the subscribers? Maybe something like, I don't know, I don't know for sure. Loot Gaming, Loot Anime, probably a little bit bigger, but something like maybe Loot Fright just didn't have the subscriber base, but you would have to hire a team to manage it. I can't imagine it made a lot of money. And then when it comes to the basic crate, I mean, I like almost everything that's inside this crate. I like this little First Avenger shield. I would love the Funko Pops that are here. I definitely love the t-shirt I always get every month. But if you aren't a Super Mario fan, maybe you wouldn't like this t-shirt. Or if you're not a Turtles fan, you wouldn't like the turtle. Or if you're an Avengers fan and prefer DC, you wouldn't like the shield. If you only disliked one item out of the crate, chances are you probably would not be satisfied with the crate. There's a value proposition there in that for $22, you would get all of this stuff, and that's a really good deal if you liked everything in it. But if you didn't, some of that stuff would just end up at Goodwill. And this just might be a sign that the whole Loot Crate, just box of goods, monthly subscription service is over. We saw Nerd Block close earlier. It's almost been 2 years since Nerd Block, one of the biggest competitors, basically just up and disappeared. And they owed millions of dollars to companies and customers when they shut down, if I remember correctly. So chances are the same thing's going to happen to Loot Crate here. Now, don't get me wrong. I do think there's still plenty of loot boxes doing very well out there. Ipsy, Birchbox, FabFitFun. I think the snack-related ones always do fairly well. The ones for women with makeup especially do very well because it's possible for them to purchase makeup at a very, very cheap price, and you're probably going to use everything in a makeup box. But if you look at this list, BarkBox is one I still like very much. If you take a look at this list, there's just not that many aimed at nerds or gamers or Magic the Gathering or any of that stuff anymore. And I guess it's because, gamers tend to be very value minded. And if we're not getting our values worth, I don't think we're going to be very happy with our collection boxes. Now, don't get me wrong, I still like the idea of subscription boxes. I will probably try to find one to replace my Lootcrate addiction. Maybe I'll get Sammy Bark Box or something like that, and we'll open those here for the channel as well. And if you like it, maybe you guys can try it out as well. And if Lootcrate gets back on its feet, if they get the money coming in, if they are managed to reform, I will gladly advertise them here on the channel again once I know that they are in the free and clear. Because again, my entire wardrobe is made up of Lootcrate t-shirts. Most of the things I own, a lot of the stuff in the background, came from Lootcrate. Some of my most treasured items came from Lootcrates. I love the service. But before that could happen, and I just don't know that it will, they would have to find funding again. They would have to rehire all of these people. They would have to give severance packages to the ones they couldn't rehire. They would need to ship out all the crates that they haven't shipped out previously that belong to people, and they would need to make good for upcoming crates. Seems like a miracle, but I hope a miracle happens. For the folks who work at Lootcrate, for the people who own it, I hope a miracle happens. Now, this is just one man's opinion. I could be wrong, and if I am, I know you're going to let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know what your experiences were with Lootcrate. If you ever signed up under my name at some point, I really do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the crates as much as I did. I hope that maybe one day we can do these unboxings again, maybe for a different subscription service, maybe for a new sponsor, maybe for somebody else, and hopefully Lootcrate can get their stuff together. Guys, as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon.